Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth under penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes.
All right. Counsel, what are the terms?
I typed them up, Your Honor. Would you like to share the screen with you?
Well, no, you can just tell me the terms so I can make sure I get her under oath confirming that she understands the terms.
Okay, Your Honor. We've agreed that a writ of possession shall issue upon written affidavit that defendant and all other occupants have failed to vacate the premises on October 14th, 2025 by 3 p.m. The parties agree the defendant owes $5,382.42 for rent, which is calculated through October 14th. The parties also agree the defendant owes court costs the amount of $65.20. The plaintiff has agreed not to pursue the total of rent owed and the court costs so long as defendant and all other occupants vacate by October 14th by 3 p.m. If the defendant fails to vacate, a writ of possession will issue instanter upon affidavit, and plaintiff shall be entitled to a judgment in fife in the above amount in the reference total. The defendant's counterclaim is dismissed with prejudice, and essentially the consent resolves all matters between the parties.
Okay, what's that amount again? I did 5,300 what?
The total including court costs, do you want that total or the total of rent?
Well, since this is a consent, I want the total amount.
5,000.
Well,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. $5,447.62.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Ms. Evans, you've entered a consent agreement where there'll be a writ of possession on October 14th, 2025 at 3 p.m. If you were to vacate on or before that date, there'll be no money judgment. If you are to fail to vacate on or before October 14th, 2025 by 3 p.m., you will have a money judgment, which is $5,447.62, which includes court costs. Furthermore, you are dismissing your counterclaims. Are these the terms that you've agreed to?
Yes. I don't know what with prejudice means.
That just means you can't bring them again. You're not going to be able to re-pursue them at another time. Or to pursue them at another time. Are these the terms that you agree to?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
I really don't understand. Because there were some things that were done that weren't addressed, so we didn't talk about my counterclaim being dismissed. We talked about
a total walk away, Your Honor. A complete walk away. Okay. And the fact that my clients agree not to pursue money owed to give her an opportunity to get back on her feet without a judgment or a writ of possession on her record.
I understand, counsel. It's just Miss Evans has to understand whether or not she wants to enter into that. It's not about me. I understand fully. So Miss Evans, just so you understand, your counterclaims would be dismissed with prejudice, so you couldn't bring them again. But counsel essentially is saying there's the offset benefit of you not having a money judgment. If you vacate by 3 p.m. by 10/4.
She's saying that now, but when we were talking, she didn't say that I had to dismiss my counterclaim.
Okay. Well, I think that's what's. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was just saying we had a conversation about honor, and she read the document. I didn't just present the document to the court.
Listen, it happens all the time. I'm not saying there's impropriety on either side. I'm just saying she's having it to. So let me ask you, Miss Evans. I don't know anything about the case. I don't know if your counterclaims are going to have a great value or not. I don't know. These seem to be the terms that you had at least said you were going to enter into, and now you're not so sure. That's totally fine. I just want to make sure that you understand that, I don't know the value of your counterclaims, so I'm not going to argue for either or. I'm just saying these are the terms that were presented. These are the terms that I thought that you agreed to based upon coming here But if not, that's fine. So, let's, or you and counsel can go back and have another discussion to maybe get some clarity. But I'm not on your side and I'm not on her side. So I'm not got to tell you everything because that would be my personal opinion. So you got to make a decision.
I need to speak with her again.
Okay, well, maybe I'm going to break out room real quick at counsel just so you can get some clarity here. If that's what y'all want to do, otherwise not.
Yeah.
Counsel, are you willing to go back to the breakout room to have a further discussion or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, well, I will try to see you back if you guys can rejoin the breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, you're already under oath. Do we have an agreement on the terms? We got a new agreement. What's going on?
No, we don't, Your Honor, but I'd like to take a preliminary matter up with the court to have her answer stricken as she filed a late answer, Your Honor. We tried to work with her. She was supposed to file an answer September 26th. She ended up filing it September 29th.
All right, well, I will tell you, it's on my calendar. I'll take a look. That means somebody determined that it was a basis justification and put it on and not do the default. So hold tight.
Thank you.
Let me take a look. So first, let me confirm, is this a written lease or?
Your Honor, this is an extended stay America where she's at in a hotel.
Okay. And I guess this is weekly or monthly rent?
They do it per day because the rate changes. When they filed it, they did it per month, but the rate does change and the rate decreased over the course of her stay.
Okay, so how much is the rate?
The rate currently right now, Your Honor, currently it's $69.99, but when they based her calculations, when she stopped paying, it was $57.99.
Okay. All right. Okay, and last time you guys got any payment from Miss Evans?
July 17th, 2025.
Okay. And so that's the last time, and so you're essentially looking from the 17th through if I were to give a writ of possession, the 14th of October.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
May I say something, Your Honor?
You will. You just have
Okay.
to be patient.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Right. Just be patient. All right. Anything else beyond the past due rent?
Court costs and then addressing her counterclaim.
Okay.
I didn't hear, Your Honor, you came back on and
I did. Well, as far as I didn't see anything as far as a late answer being identified. Hold on.
Well, when I looked at the affidavit of service, it had marked down there the date she was served and written in there that she was required to answer on September 26th.
And so, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do a default by virtue of her being scheduled for a hearing. Obviously, there must have been either miscommunication. If it was a default, we would have already granted it. And if someone has put it down for a calendar, that means myself, one of my colleagues have considered it and thought it appropriate to put it down. But with that being said, yeah, I'm just trying to understand that the balance. So I'll look at that. So I know it changes. So I just can't do $57.99.
I can give you the numbers per
What's
month,
what's your allegation as far as the amount that's totaled past due?
Okay, the balance as the end of July. Is that okay, Your Honor, to give you it that way?
No, I want how much you claim that she needs to pay through the 14th of October. Because I mean the rates constantly change. I mean, if I put in
the rate's constantly changing, so the total would be $6,147.42.
Okay. All right. That's what you're looking for.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So let me talk to Miss Evans. So Miss Evans, I just want to confirm, you've been in this extended stay. Is that true?
Yes.
And when did you first start occupying the extended stay?
October 2024.
Okay. And how much is either I guess your daily rate to your knowledge or weekly rate?
The daily rate was 47 and then it went to 57.
Okay, so you're saying it was 47. When did it turn into 57?
When they told me I had to do a second reservation, I think it was March 27th. And then in June they started adding the late fees, which took it up to like $70 or whatever it is. So, I had a set, and I put this in the complaint, the confirmation that had a set amount, but then they changed it.
Okay. So I saw your answer, and so what specifically are you at? What are your allegations or as far as your defenses or counterclaims are concerned?
Well, I didn't stop paying. They stopped accepting my payments when I basically kept telling them that they couldn't just charge my card when they wanted to because I was paying with a different card. They said a card had to be on there on my account at all times. The Apple Pay could not be put on the account.
Because it's not a credit card, right?
Right. So I was paying through the Apple Pay. And one of the desk clerks, well, actually two different ones, if I didn't get there by the time they left, they would go ahead and make a charge on their card. And I told them not to do that. And it put my account in the rears. And I have that in my complaint also. And I believe it was July 7th when I told them, look, you all cannot. I have to take that card off if you're going to keep charging it. And they said it would not be charged again. And then on July 13th, another charge was made, even though I was paying with my Apple Pay. And so when I told them that I, had this problem that the bank was going to close my account, and I wanted to know if they could take off the late fees, because they're causing me issues with my bank account, and they wouldn't do that. And then a few days later, that's when they said, when I came to make another payment, they said they weren't accepting my payments anymore. $1,500 in late fees was added, and the attorney said she wasn't seeing anything with late fees. So that's all of that was in my counter because there were services they weren't providing, but then they were charging me all these late fees, and the late fees were charged on not the balance. So if you didn't pay 7 days in advance, then you got charged $200 in late fees.
Okay.
And so that's where
I mean, this isn't a normal lease, so it's not a normal situation where you've got a normal lease situation. I mean, obviously, if it extends over a year's worth of time, it kind of converts into a lease, but you don't have the same kind of initial terms. Obviously, you still have you have the same protections as being a tenant. I guess what you're saying is, what are you saying? You overpaid? What specific damage are you looking for? Because they're not looking for any late fees at this juncture. They're looking for the rate. Now, let me just see what that rate would be. I mean, they're saying $57.99. You're just saying you were charged late fees that you either say were not justified or charged late fees that you felt were, and charged you money that you then incurred cost because they charged it from your account.
the late fees I feel like are excessive, but I don't understand why they were charging my card when I was paying with Apple Pay. I don't understand why they were
Were you
doing
caught
that.
up at the time? I'm just curious.
No, no. But the agreement was I would come in and I would pay whenever I worked Instacart, I would come in and pay a lump sum on Thursdays.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why the additional charges were made. I don't know. And when I inquired, I didn't get an answer. And that was part of the counterclaim because I need to get my account back in good standing. And I can't do that if I'm not allowed to, pursue that.
I guess what I'm then trying to figure out is here. So how much are you alleging that you're entitled to? Because this is obviously not like a repair claim. You're claiming that they charge you. So I got to ask counsel, since she's saying that couldn't pay, were you ever given an opportunity? You guys sent her a 3-day notice?
Yes, Your Honor, a 3-day notice was sent.
Did you get a 3-day notice, Ms. Evans?
Yes, I got a 3-day notice.
Okay. And did you not pay that amount? What was the problem with that amount?
I was disputing the amount.
Okay. And so we know you haven't paid. What's the amount that you're disputing? Or what amount are you claiming? Or what damages are you alleging specifically?
So the counterclaim had to do with services that they didn't render. Okay. I wasn't looking for money back. I wanted an adjustment made according to that. And then something I can give to my bank. And this is what I asked them before all of this was, can that last charge be reversed with something that says it was an error or something so I can get back in good standing with my bank? And I never got a response from that.
Well, I'll be frank, I don't think the court can do that. And if I understand you're saying that they were ultimately charged and they weren't supposed to charge your card and you got late fees. Counsel, what's your position on that? I just want to make sure we flesh that out, because her position is that, she suffered other issues as you charged a card, and she had other means of paying, and then ultimately she's got these late fees. Obviously, we only charge 10% of the monthly rental value as tops. But even with that, I'll be frank, counsel, I just did 88 days, which is through the 14th of times the 57.99, and that's 5103.12. Now that doesn't obviously include any late fee, but that's how much I would have identified. How much in late fees did you have to pay, Ms. Evans?
$1,650.
$1,600?
Yes.
No.
Your
I'm talking
Honor.
about from your bank.
Oh, the total was I believe it was 135. And there weren't late
$135.
fees, there were
Overdraft fee.
Yeah.
Overdraft fee.
Yeah. When that last charge came through, because it was already in the negative, they closed the account. And I was trying to work with them to pay the balance.
Yes.
And then that charge came through 6 days later. And so when that charge came through, they closed the account. So now I have that closed account with the negative.
Yeah.
And that's,
I understand. Well, counsel, do you have any response to her position?
Your Honor, I see that some late fees were charged over the course of time. The folio that I have, that I was provided, that dates back to March 27th, 2025. As you said, you were coming up with the number 5,103.12. Where the differences might lie, Your Honor, what I had mentioned to you earlier, that sometimes the amount changed. So for example, when she came in March 27th, the amount was $62.99. Then it dropped to $61.74 for a number of days. It went up incrementally and then dropped. So it's basically just what the daily rate is what she was charged.
I understand, because you guys are truthfully doing it like a hotel. Like certain days are more expensive than others. Saturdays and Sundays may be more expensive than Tuesdays and Wednesdays or something.
But they really do keep, there is most of the entire month of August is at the $57.99. Just some of the changes were in July where it was $74.19. So if your number and my number's off, that's why, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Ms. Evans, I'll be honest, there's not, what you're telling me, it doesn't necessarily significantly alter what's going on. That counterclaim isn't for the $135 that you suffered in, which you're saying cost because they were charging another card on file, but at the time you were also still past due, but you were disputing the late fees that they were applying to you. Like I said, the late fees that I would apply, if I applied them at all, would just be 10%. whatever agreement that you have in the contract's one thing. But as far as a judgment, what we're going to approve is no more than 10% of whatever the monthly rental value is. But again, even that, unless council's looking for that amount, I've got 510312 through the 14th. So, Ms. Evans, I know you didn't want to do the consent, that's on you, but you're gonna end up getting probably a judgment of about 510312 plus court costs. That's just gonna be on you. Because that's just the amount of money that is outstanding, regardless of these late fees.
Okay. So you're
Hello?
saying the
Oh.
the agreement would have been better, is what you're saying?
No, because I'm not saying that at all, because I'm not your attorney, and I don't want you taking about what I'm saying, and I can't tell you that the agreement's still on the table. I'm just making a note that you about to have a judgment for about 50-something, 5,000 and some change, and a writ of possession on the 14th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. In that regard,
So the judge, the
We're also, asking that the court dismiss her counterclaim because she didn't present any evidence. She's saying for services rendered and these damages that weren't presented.
yeah, and I just want to confirm what services are in. I'm just, I just want to make sure that you're saying if there are services that you were saying weren't rendered, what services were those?
just the lunch, the fitness center, and the pest control. I mean, not lunch, and he said it was a free service, so it doesn't matter. It was supposed to be a breakfast and then a fitness room, and they didn't do the pest control. But he said
Who did the pest control?
nobody did the pest control. I mean, I put spray in here myself. But he's saying that those services weren't they were free services, not really a part of the cost. So
I understand.
Your Honor, okay.
Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, the manager's here to testify to it. Typically, I don't know about a grab and go breakfast and whether or not the workout room and all that kind of stuff, but if there's an issue, then it's either on a schedule, typically with a vendor, and then if there's a problem, the tenant notifies the manager and it's taken care of.
I did. It's in the. I'm sorry.
For the 7 days writ of possession and a money judgment on the court's calculation and a dismissal of her counterclaim.
Okay. Well, I'm not necessarily going to just put the counterclaim. There's not going to be any. There's nothing clear that is related to ultimately what's going on. I understand that they were charging, but that's a contract issue that ultimately leads to, based upon a non-payment and then trying to get payment. I'm not going to charge you that crazy, whatever the late fee, but I do have 88 days through the 14th of 510312. Now, if I apply a late fee, now obviously I'm not going to apply a late fee through October 14th because it's a daily rate and you can't pay. So it's kind of hard to say a late fee when you can't even be able to pay that any other fee. So I've got it. You bear with me here. Jeez, hold on. I mean, they filed this action on September 10th. And so based on that, it's going to be this. Hold on. So 55.
Stand back. Hello?
Hold tight. All right, that money judgment's going to be for the following. It's going to be 5422-06, writ on the 14th of October. The counterclaims, obviously, I didn't find anything as far as a value to award in that. There didn't seem to be anything there, but of course, ma'am, you got 7 days appeal, but you will have to pay the $5,422.06 in the registry if you're to do so. As far as monthly payment, if you were to do so, that balances out to be about $1739.70 a month. All right, I will get a copy of the order to you folks. You're both free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.